everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are playing with some Altenew products and lots of colored cardstock. I pulled some color inspiration from my Sarah Renee Clark color cubes. This is volume 1. These are cards number 267 and 271. The color palettes are fairly similar, and I will use some of the same cardstocks over. You'll see some of the cardstocks cross over into both cards. I wanted to do 2 color palettes today, but this is one of those cards that if you wanted to make like a stationery set and just have a good play with color, this would be a good one to do that with. I have 2 Darice embossing folders. I'm sorry, I do not know what they are called, but any embossing folders you have will work. I just wanted there to be a little bit of interest in the background. You could also do some tone-on-tone stamping, or these are 2D embossing folders. But you could use whichever ones you wanted. I'm also using this die set from Altenew. This features their keyhole system, which is absolutely genius. And this is where I did all of my die cutting from. And I will show you in today's video just how easy this goes together. This is the first time I've used it, the first time I've played with it. I have not done anything other than take it and put it into my storage pockets. And it is super, super easy. If you've been on my channel ever before, you know that I am not good with like finicky bits. I just get overwhelmed. I get just frustrated. So this keyhole system is perfect for me. There are 5 blooms on this particular leaf image, and each of them have a very distinct shape. So there's triangles, keyholes, something that looks kind of strange, but they're very distinct shapes. And then these blooms also have that very distinct shape to show you where they go. And that is the beauty of this keyhole system. Altenew, from my knowledge, is the very first company to do this. And I think a lot of other companies are starting to do this also. And it is just very ingenious, really helps with making things go together perfectly and easy and seamlessly. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing this on. I'm going to use liquid glue to glue these down just because it gives me just a little bit of wiggle room, although it was not needed. Like I said, these just come together so easy. If you wanted to, you could cut these out of white cardstock and do some ink blending. You could cut it out of pattern paper. You could do colored cardstock like I did today and then do ink blending on top of that, just to give this more interest if you wanted to. But I really liked the, I guess, modern look of this and kind of graphic look of it. So I didn't do any of that, although those are definitely options that you could do if you wanted to. So I get all of my colored cardstock from Cardstock Warehouse, and I will list the colors that I used below, but I will also tell you here. So the purple is from Lessebo, and that is Purple Haze. And Amethyst is from Colorplan. So those are the 2 purples that I used today. Then I have that deep teal color is Lessebo Amazon. And then the lighter one that is going to be on this particular image is Mars green. No, excuse me, powder green. The brown is NUBUCK brown. And the kind of brighter teal is Mars green, and that is also from Colorplan. So I have been really pleased with the cardstock that I've gotten there. Not only the quality, but the colors. Really beautiful, lots of colors to choose from. I will say that the Colorplan cardstock has a little more texture to it as opposed to the Lessebo, which is much smoother. And I have several colors of each of them, and that seems to be pretty consistent all the way across the board. So for these top layers, you saw how easily those other ones went on there, like super easy. These ones I had to bring out the packaging just to make sure that I was putting things in the right spot. So one thing to keep in mind with these is that this layer you're putting on is going to cover that keyhole, so you won't even see it. So whoever gets this card is going to think you're a super genius, because it's going to go on seamlessly. It's going to be consistent every time. And this layer will cover that keyhole. So that's just something to keep in mind. This one, the bottom one, the very bottom one, I almost didn't cover that keyhole. And then I realized that I would needed to scoot it up just a little bit more. But that packaging is very, very helpful. If you ever lose the packaging or need to refer to it for whatever reason, you can always go to Altenew's website, and they have like instructions and colored images and diagrams and everything. They usually have tutorials where the products are being used. So if ever you need that from an older set or a newer set, whatever it may be, you can absolutely go to their website and find that information. So I'm going to just glue this on. I'm going to bring out my little picker here. It's got a little wax end on it, and I'm just going to use that to help pick up these pieces. And then I'm just going to glue them all down flat. Another option would be to pop them up with a little bit of like foam tape. That would be another option. And now that I'm thinking about it, I wish I would have done that, because that would have been a lot of fun. So I guess I'm just going to have to make more cards and use more colors so that I can actually pop them up this time. So I'm just going to glue the rest of these down flat. So this is it all put together, and just plain colored cardstock, nothing added to it. And I think it looks really cool. And like I said, I really enjoy that kind of modern, loosey-goosey, dynamic image that we have there. So this is the second floral. So what's great about this die set is that the greenery is all, what is supposed to be the greenery, and in this case it's purple, is all one die. And then you have another 4 dies, 2 for each floral. So the other one that we just did looked more like tulips to me, I guess you could say. And this one looks more like a daisy, maybe. So for the daisy looking ones, there's the actual flower itself, and then the little circles for the flower center. And then the other one, it had just kind of the base, the darker blue on the packaging that you see there. And then it had the lighter one. And the same thing applies. Like, these have the same exact distinct shapes, and they line up like butter. They are super easy to tell. And I'm just going to glue them on flat like I did before. And then it cuts out 10 little circles for the centers of these flowers that are, again, going to cover up that keyhole system so you look like a professional. And there's only 4 flowers. So I didn't want to put those back in the packaging. I didn't want to throw them away. So I just doubled them up. So I did the one set, and I was like, well, I don't want to put those back in the packaging. So I just decided to do 2. Double them up, give them a little bit more dimension. Here you're seeing me count just to make sure I'm not like losing my mind. And there are indeed 5, so you can double them up if you want. I'm not sure why Altenew did the die that way. Not unless you could use them as like buds, maybe. I don't know. But regardless, I just decided to double them up. So that's what I'm doing here, is just putting a dot of glue on the centers that are already there, and then stacking the little flower centers twice. When that was all done, I decided to go ahead and glue down these embossing folder panels down flat to the card. Although if you wanted to do more dimension, you absolutely could and just use foam or stacked up scrap cardstock. I just decided to keep these kind of flat, and so I'm just using liquid glue to glue both of those panels down flat. I'm also going to I'm also going to glue these floral die cuts down flat as well. Again, you could pop them up or die cut them out several times and stack them together. I'm just going to use some liquid glue and glue them down flat. My sentiment comes from this Gina K Designs Wonderfully Made stamp set, little mini stamp set here. And I am using this stamp that actually says "You're beautifully and wonderfully made." I think sometimes we need to be reminded of that. And I am just going to stamp that onto a scrap of HAMMERMILL cardstock, which is what my card base is made out of. And I'm using Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated inks for that. The purple one is Heather, and then the brown is Cappuccino. And I'm just going to stamp those out. I really didn't need to double stamp them, but it's kind of habit. My ink pads are still pretty juicy from the last time I re-inked them, so I probably didn't need to do that, but I did. And I apologize that my camera went all crooked. It's gradually starting to break, my little camera holder, phone holder, and so it might be time to invest in a new one. So just kind of turn your head to the side for a second while well, before I figure out that it indeed went crooked. So I don't have a matching die if there is one for these sentiments. So what I'm going to do is fussy cut them out. I could take them to my brother machine and have it cut it, but I would still have to have this little outline here. So what I do to help me fussy cut these kind of things is I take a pencil and I just do an outline around it. That helps me. I know that there are some people that are very good fussy cutters and they don't have to do that, but I do. I just have to have that little outline there to follow. And I'm just taking my scissors. They're very small, sharp pointed scissors. And I am moving the paper in my non-dominant hand, which happens to be my left hand. And then I'm keeping the scissors fairly straight with my dominant hand, which is my right. And that helps you get smoother cuts. I am not a very good fussy cutter and I do not enjoy it. And I have to have it like right in my face. That is why I'm like pretty much off camera right now. But that is something that you can do and try to see if that helps you when you're fussy cutting things like this, is if you put a pencil outline around it, if that helps you. Or just be like me and have a machine that does it for you, or get the dies when you have them. So I'm going to do this purple one, and then I will take the eraser and just erase any pencil lines that I still see. To add just a little bit of dimension to this card, I am going to take some Dollar Tree foam squares and just pop up these sentiments a little bit, just so that there is a little bit more interest to this rather flat card. So I put the sentiments in different spots. I just kind of wanted them to be similar, but not the exact same. And then we're going to do some finishing touches. So the first thing I'm going to do is some Spectrum Noir Clear Glitter Brush Pen. This is just going to add a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of shine, and a little bit more interest to these flowers. And then I do add little streaks of it onto the leaves of this particular flower. And I only did these glitter brush pen on the kind of lighter blue parts of the other card. I did toy with the idea of putting some like white gel pen highlights on the card on the left. I did toy with the idea of putting some, sorry, we have like these Japanese beetles everywhere, so I just end up flicking them because they drive me nuts. Anyway, I did toy with the idea of putting some glossy accents on like the centers of the flowers on the right hand side. I chose not to do that, but that is an option. And then I went to my stash and I found these pearls from BLINGEE Thingy on Etsy, and I just put those kind of scattered into some white space on these cards and am gluing them down with little dots of liquid glue, and then these cards are complete. So I appreciate you spending time with me today. I hope you felt inspired. I hope you check out those keyhole system die sets from Altenew. They are fabulous. And until then, we will see you next time. Bye.